Welcome to Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands for today's interconference battle between the 2-6 Green Bay Packers and the 4-4 New York Jets. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown. Well, for the last several years, the New York area has had one dominant team, the Giants. But with the resurgence of the Jets, the Big Apple can once again lay claim to being a two-team football city, and the name New York, New York is most appropriate. Our partner is Randy Cross. And Randy, although the Jets are playing only .500 football right now, their fans already have them in the playoffs.
Well, the fans, the press, everybody. But Bruce Coslett has his team focused, and they spent their off week last week beating up on each other, getting back to basics, really focusing on what they need to do in the second half of the year. And they really realize that talent-wise, they are not a great team. What they are is a team that has to play at the top of their game and plays well together.
Despite Green Bay's 27-0 spanking of Tampa Bay last weekend, to see the face of quarterback Don Majkowski yesterday, as we did, was to see nothing but frustration.
The main frustration for Majkowski is he is the leading rusher. 108 yards in 8 games. They do not have a rushing team. To make it worse, he's the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL. Two keys for the Packers today. Number one, they must get positive yardage on first down. And number two, they've got to stop getting the offensive penalties that have killed them all year long.
Jets, coming off of a bye week, have won the coin toss. Chris Jackie kicking off for the Packers. And for the Jets, Terrence Mathis from his own 5. And Mathis with an excellent return across the 30 to the 31. Finally dropped by Scott Stephen. So the Jets will start off with good field position. Ken O'Brien, 9th-year quarterback out of Cal Davis, will be at the helm. And the front wall, Criswell, Haight, Sweeney, White, Irv Eatman, tight end Chris Dressel. The backs, Blair Thomas and Brad Baxter. The wide receivers, Al Toon and Rob Moore. The Jets hoping to get more on the ground game than they have in the last 3 weeks. They dropped off about 30 yards from the first 4 weeks. Blair Thomas in motion. O'Brien looking for more, incomplete. Defended by Jerry Holmes.
And the Jets going to test that defense of the Packers early, trying to get the ball downfield to Moore. And for the defense of the Packers, he's not a starter, but Bryce Pop's very key today to get after O'Brien. The guys up front, they're pluggers, they're stickers, they're two gappers that like to stop the run. The linebackers, keep an eye on the inside duo of Brian Noble and Johnny Holland. They'll be tested early inside by this Jets offensive line. And real contrast in the secondary. Hitters and Cecil and Murphy, Holmes and Butler are corners that will be highly tested by Toon and Moore today.
2nd and 10. Blair Thomas in near side as a wide receiver. The ball thrown in the direction of Blair Thomas, but he slipped on the turf. So to bring up a 3rd and 10. And Randy, it's quite apparent that New York going right at their ex-player, Jerry Holmes.
Well, they're going to go after Holmes. You're guaranteed to do that only because Holmes is an older cornerback, and he's in a defense, I think, that lends itself for him being tested in Hank Bullough's defense here.
Bruce Coslett in his 2nd year as head coach here. Players absolutely love everything about him, including the practice sessions, which are shorter.
And so far, Coslett's team has looked a little rusty. One trip and one ball thrown behind the receiver for O'Brien.
6 defensive backs for the Packers. Jets out of the shotgun. O'Brien throws it complete, and he has enough for the first down. So Ken O'Brien answering the charge with that 12-yard pass play to Al Toon. And Al Toon now
85 games in a row, James. He's got a catch in the thing. He's one catch away from Mickey Schuler's 86, which is the record here in New York.
Not as much the big play man as he used to be here, Randy.
Not at all. His per catch average is way down. The man, the big play guy now is Moore. Toon is now more of a possession type 3rd down receiver.
1st and 10 from the 42, just underway. Opening drive for the Jets. And the handoff to Thomas. Looking for some daylight, finds none, and is dropped for a loss of about 3. And give the credit to Johnny Holland, the 5th-year player out of Texas A&M.
This Green Bay defense, per rush, is the best run defense in the NFL. And you see a little reason why. They know their responsibilities. They know where they're supposed to be. Thomas has absolutely nowhere to go. A real key for these Packers, though, is on the throwing situations. They can be a tough defense against the pass, but only if Bryce Pop and company can get pressure on the quarterback. Otherwise, look for big plays by the pass from the Jets.
Bryce Pop into the game for the Packers. Scott Stephen out, 2nd and 13 for the Jets. Ball at the 39. Inside handoff to Thomas. And Thomas picks up maybe 4. Robert Brown on the tackle. We'll call it a 5-yard regain by Blair Thomas.
I talked about the 2-gapping. Watch right here. Watch right here. Watch the way these guys play the offensive players. They give Thomas absolutely nowhere to go. Brown and Tony Bennett keep perfect responsibility in relation to the runner and the offensive player. That's fine defense, Packers.
3rd and 7. Mathis in motion. To Thomas. Incomplete. So the Jets will punt this one away. Burnell Dent providing the coverage. The inside backer for the Packers.
Let's keep an eye on Fraze. Number 91 will be doing the deep snapping here on the punts for the Jets. Trevor Maddich on the inactive list today.
And Fraze, while he has long snapped in practice, this is his first game situation.
You know, being a defensive guy in this situation could be a disadvantage. He'd want to oversnap it, I think, be a little too aggressive.
Louis Aguiar has to take it off the turf and does a magnificent job to get rid of it. An excellent punt. And Vi Sikahema, starting from his own 8, picks up 2 yards. A 47-yard punt after a bad snap. We'll call it a 3-yard run.
Well, here in the NFL, naturally, it's illegal to hit the kicker. But once this ball hits the turf right here, that kicker is fair meat. You can hit him and do whatever you want to him. And that is not illegal contact by Leroy Butler.
And guess who was down on the tackle for the Jets? Wide receiver Terrence Mathis. Excellent special teamwork.
The deep snapper, look at him shaking his head. He knows he almost cost his team a big play with that snap. That's going to be a factor because from now on, the Packers are going to come after this young guy, and they're going to really test his cool.
Excellent punt coverage as the Packers starting 1st and 10 at their own 12. Out of the I formation. On the ground. And no gain on the play as Green Bay trying to open up on the ground with Darrell Thompson. Don Mikowski, 5th-year quarterback out of Virginia. Mr. Frustration right now. The front line, Lewis Cheek, Rich Moran, James Campen, Ron Hallstrom, Tony Mandrich, and Ed West at tight end. Woodside and Thompson in the backs. Charles Wilson starting in place of Perry Kemp along with Sterling Sharp. Sterling Sharp's to the near side. 2nd and 10. 2 tight end formation for the Packers. Mikowski throws it incomplete in the direction of Sterling Sharp, who was being defended by James Hasty.
And the highlight of this Jets defense is the guys up front and having a great year so far. Marvin Washington gets tested today against Tony Mandrich. Dennis Byrd, last year 13.5 sacks, only 2 so far this season. The linebackers, a steady group. Good rookie on the outside, Mo Lewis. And the cornerbacks will be tested today with Brim and Hasty, seeing a lot of action specifically from Sterling Sharp.
Here's a situation the defense lost. 3rd and 10. Corner blitz. Incomplete to Sharp, who had it and dropped it. And Don Mikowski getting up slow after being hit, which is one of his major complaints, Randy.
Well, you talk about Ken O'Brien here in New York taking a beating. I mean, right now, Mikowski doesn't even care enough to fix his jersey coming off the field. All he's thinking about is this is going to be a long day facing this team, because you know Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator for the Jets, is going to send everybody he can to try to intimidate Don Mikowski.
Ball McJulian, who's punted more than anyone in the NFL, punting off to Terrence Mathis. Mathis standing back at his own 47. An excellent punt by McJulian, and Mathis fair catches it at the 47. So McJulian as he's been doing all season long. An excellent punt. Jets ball when we back.
And Don Mikowski was a little beaten up. Look at his right hand. See him checking that thing out? Tom Zach is also warming up right now, the backup quarterback, so we could see him early.
Blair Thomas on the ground for the Jets on 1st and 10 as he goes across midfield into Packers territory.
As you see Mikowski squeezing that little piece of cloth there, trying to get some feeling. It looks back in the hand. Watch Washington coming out of the left part of the screen here on the blitz. Blitzing out of the slot. Mikowski follows through, and from that replay would appear to have banged his hand against the helmet.
A gain of 5 on that last play by Thomas brings up a 2nd and 5. Play action. O'Brien looking for Toon, has him complete inside the 25 to about the 24 of Green Bay. Defender was Chuck Cecil. A 21-yard pass play from O'Brien to Toon.
A nice example of the new role of Toon in this offense. Rob Moore streaking up the field to clear things out, and Toon drags right underneath him about 20 yards down the field, right in between that zone. Look at the DBs in the back. DBs are behind him, linebackers are in front of him, and O'Brien does a fine job of lobbing it perfectly into the crease in the zone.
1st and 10 from the 25. Baxter. An excellent run by Baxter of 8 yards will bring up a 2nd and 2.
What these Green Bay Packer defenders we said do well, they get in their responsibilities. They take care of their gaps. Look at a fine job by the Jets line. Look at that hole open up in the middle. Good job there by Sweeney and Haight, the left guard, really opening up that gap.
9:30 left in the first quarter, playing no score. Jets 2nd possession and driving. The pitch to Thomas. Has the first down and a couple. Chuck Cecil on the tackle. Blair Thomas reacting to criticism, Randy, that he has been running tentatively and juking before making a move, out to disprove folks here.
Well, I think until he hears that from Bruce Codlet or anybody else within the organization, he won't worry much about it, because he's the one that's been running the ball so well at Penn State and here early in his career with the Jets.
Ball at the 13 of Green Bay, 1st and 10. Play action. O'Brien with a lot of time. Throws it incomplete. Intended receiver was Blair Thomas. And the 22nd running of the New York City Marathon today was run. Finally over. Salvatore Garcia of Mexico, the winner, 2:09:27. And Liz McColgan wins the women's race. The race, of course, through all 5 boroughs here in New York on a gorgeous day.
2 hours and 9 minutes?
That's cooking.
You can't drive 26 miles in New York in 2 hours and 9 minutes.
2nd and 10. O'Brien throws it incomplete. Was hoping to find Rob Moore, who was open, but overthrew him. Will bring up a 3rd and 10.
Smart play by O'Brien there, because this Hank Bullock coach defense for the Green Bay Packers down here in the +20 area don't make very many mistakes. They don't give up the easy play. You know, the Jets inside, that's your touchdown percentage. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine when you read all about the red zone and how often you score. You know, there's only one team in the league that can afford to kick field goals down here, and that's the New Orleans Saints because of their defense. I think everybody else, they should score touchdowns.
3rd and 10 from the 12. O'Brien, not known as a scrambler, throws it away well over the head of Terrence Mathis. And there is a flag on the far side of the field.
That's in that area of the alignment. Somebody either lined up in the backfield or not enough guys on the line.
Tom White is our referee today. Randy, we were reading those results from the New York City Marathon, and McColgan is actually from Scotland. I think we had the USA chyron there.
You ever notice, James, you watch those races, or if you're...
Pass interference, number 87 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
But you're watching those races and see people jogging, they're never smiling. How can that be a sport? That's torture. It's torture if you're not smiling. People enjoy playing golf. They smile when they do that.
It's torture if you're not in shape.
And you're not seeing Bruce Coslett smile too much because of that pick. Burkett ran right through both defensive backs.
So Lee will attempt a 30-yard field goal. And it's good. So the Jets hit the scoreboard first with 8:27 left in the first quarter of play. They lead it by a field goal. Nothing. 8:27 left in the first period of play. James Brown along with Randy Cross. And talk about night and day in the offensive comparison categories.
What a difference Bruce Coslett's made here in New York. But boy, those Packers. And a lot of that just simply has to do with their offensive line. Their offensive line, not only can it not run block so far in 91, it's been really porous to the pass rush.
Compounding matters. Green Bay has not scored an offensive touchdown in the first quarter this year. From the 5. And smashed Charles Wilson.
Stop was made by Mike Brett.
Wilson gets it up across the 20. An 18-yard return by Wilson as Don Mikowski comes back on. Randy, he was so candid with us. He said his offensive series most often have him looking around for a flag on the field.
He says every time something good happens, I start looking to my right and my left and behind me, just checking for a flag. And he's absolutely right. One of the greatest, quickest cures for this Green Bay Packer offense would be not to be 1st and 20, 2nd and 20, 3rd and 15. And they've seen those situations innumerable times.
You don't work on those situations too much in practice, huh? 1st and 10 from the 24. The Packers. Play action. Mikowski has to get rid of it quickly as 2 Jets plastering into the turf. Marvin Washington and Jeff Lageman. Lageman, an ex-teammate of Mikowski's at the University of Virginia.
Okay, you be a defender. You're playing a team that can't run the ball. You're going to buy the run fake? The Jets don't. He doesn't get much blocking either up front for poor Mikowski, and he has to throw that one away where there isn't anybody. There's big Jeff Lageman. The Packers are intending on keeping a receiver or a running back in on 3rd down situations just because of the good pass rush he's gotten this year.
Ed West and Jackie Harris, the 2 tight ends in this formation for the Packers. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 24. And straight ahead, but only for 1 yard, go the Packers. Darrell Thompson was looked to be somewhat of a savior for the Packers running game, but he hasn't been able to generate much either.
And it's very tough for a young running back. Well, there's Mercereau heading into the sideline limping a little bit. This was his first game back after missing a couple weeks.
And the Jets have 7 defensive backs in. Ryan Washington, the man showing blitz. 3rd and 9. And Mikowski throws it complete. But it's going to be shy of the 1st down by a couple of inches, Randy, well, depending upon the mark.
It doesn't look like it, James. I think it's right at the mark.
There's Mercereau.
That's too bad he banged up that knee. It's a very unique hairstyle he's got there, that beaver pelt look.
Beaver pelt look.
Well, Fess Parker used to wear something like that, and Davy Crockett, but it was a hat.
I guess you must be good friends with him. Charles Wilson on the reception that time, and it is, in fact, a 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Pack. 6:48 left in the first quarter of play. And Mikowski throws it incomplete, and again had to get rid of it. A heated rush by both Washington and Lageman again. The intended receiver was Keith Woodside.
Well, good, well-documented case of no love lost between Jeff Lageman and Mikowski, who were at Virginia at the same time. And we talked about Lageman. They're going to try to help out a little bit with Lageman coming on the left side, working against Lewis Cheeks. Well, he freezes Cheeks and runs right around him. Whoa, Washington got him low. Ooh, Lageman gets him high. Mikowski can count on that for the better part of the day.
2nd and 10 from the 35. Harris in motion. Mikowski. Smashed. Sack. Jeff Lageman. And they actually ruled that one incomplete. 5th. That certainly won't make Mikowski feel any better.
And that play does what the Packers didn't want to have happen, and that's for this crowd to get into the game. Here's Lageman, 56, working from the left side of the screen here against Cheeks. This is just pure speed as Cheeks goes for the cut, which is a desperation move. Good athletic move by Jeff Lageman.
And we saw Mikowski get rid of the ball, so nullified the sack. Complete for the first down to Wilson. And Wilson laterals it. And Vince Workman takes it up to the 40 of the Jets.
You know, James, I couldn't tell if that was a lateral or the defender came in and poked the ball out and it just shot backwards.
Now, you know what Wilson's going to say. It's a lateral.
Oh, of course. Of course. And he'll want the extra yardage, too, because it was his idea. Mikowski was getting good protection that time for probably the first time today. And that was knocked out very well by McMillan. Headsy veteran move by McMillan. But Workman, see, earlier in the year for the Green Bay Packers, there wouldn't be a Packer there to catch that ball.
And the net effect, 25 yards gained on the play. Great defensive play. Thompson. A good hard running by Thompson for a 5-yard gain up to the 35 of the Jets. Will bring up a 2nd and 5. Thompson, the second-year running back out of Minnesota, 6 feet, 227 pounds, hoping to give the Pack a push to that anemic running game.
Well, as O.J. Simpson proved early in his career in Buffalo before they got him an offensive line, running backs can't do it by themselves. And unless he gets the blocking, he really does not deserve the rap he's getting in Green Bay about being hesitant and not running well. I mean, nobody runs well running into a wall, and that's what he's faced all year so far.
2nd and 5. Delayed handoff to Thompson, and Thompson, no gain on the play as he's tripped up by Paul Fraze.
Well, early in the game here, the Packers have run a couple of quick draws. They have not been successful, but I think one of the reasons behind those quick draws is Lindy and Fonte will be able to play action pass off the draw. To be able to get the hesitation with a fake draw that he won't get with a fake run. Because those linebackers will hesitate just for a split second. There's Lindy with the Green Bay Packer hat on there, checking out his playlist.
On 3rd and 5, 7 defensive backs by the Jets again. Incomplete. Perry Kemp could not hold on to the ball.
No signal so far. Okay, they're going to rule that incomplete.
I think the whistles were drowned out with the crowd cheering here.
Well, the line judge and the umpire were both sort of standing there looking at each other, couldn't decide what they were going to do. We'll have a look here at the contact that was made and whether or not that was a catch. Remember, 2 feet on the ground. Yeah, I guess not. I don't know. Inconclusive, let's say. On our replay, no catch.
In slow motion, it looked good. Now, Jackie will attempt a 53-yard field goal. His season long is 45. He does have a 53-yard completion, that coming last year against the Rams.
The wind is no factor, and he's got the length.
And it's good. So Chris Jackie ties his career best with a 53-yarder, knotting the game at 3-all.
want that tape job to really be effective, you tape it right down to the skin. You don't put that pro wrap under there. That's lazy. Get it on the skin. Rips all the hair out, gets a little skin off with it at the end of the game, and you step in the shower and you start screaming. People look at you like you're nuts. What's wrong with you?
You're such a sensitive guy, Randy.
Tape it down.
Terrence Mathis, 3 yards deep, decides to down it, touch back, so the Jets will operate from their own 20. 10 plays, 41 yards, culminating in a 53-yard field goal. Now, I mentioned before that Chris Jackie had one last year against the Rams, and that 53-yarder ties Jan Stenerud, of course, who had the same length for the Packers as well.
See Lindy and Fonny huddling there with Charlie Davis, his offensive line coach. No doubt they're trying to figure out, look, these guys are moving Loggeman all over the field. How are we going to deal with it? Willie Pete, the running back coach, getting his 2 cents in, too.
First and 10 from the 20. 3:50 left in the first half. Make that the first quarter play.
A little early motion.
Flags everywhere.
False start. 69 offense. 5 yards. Still first down. Movement prior to the snap.
A full house here at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. On hand to cheer on the Jets. All tied with the Packers, 3 apiece. 3:50 left in the first quarter play. And the Jets coming off of a bye week. The one concern that Bruce Conklin had was whether or not they would have a little ring rust. First and 15. Thomas hit hard that time by Johnny Holland and stood up. A gain of only 1. And Johnny Holland, we had a pleasant conversation with him, the 5th-year player out of Texas A&M. Randy, I think he qualifies for what you said before is country strong.
Oh, that's right. He's one of the many players in the NFL. It seems you read these bios, another former quarterback. Went to Texas A&M as a Texas high school all-state quarterback. He said, you know how long it lasted? About 1 day and 6 hours. Coach took one look at me and said, you're a safety. Because that experiment lasted about 3 weeks. His linebacker was the only place I could go.
He's hitting hard at linebacker. 2nd and 14. O'Brien looking back with a lot of time and finally throws it complete for the first down. And give a lot of credit to that offensive line of O'Brien. Plenty of time to find Altoon. A 15-yard gain.
And 2 new additions to the offensive line at right tackle. Miller's in there and Cadigan's back in at left guard. Bruce calls it City, get the time. And look at the job they're doing. The Packers are only rushing 3 people now, understand, so that's 3 against 5, and that's what should happen when only 3 guys rush a quarterback.
3 catches for 47 yards in the first quarter for Altoon.
Probably the biggest improvement in this Jets team has been that group right there since Bruce Coslet's been here in New York.
Flags on the play, stopping the play.
False start. Right side of the offensive line. 5 yards. Prior to the snap. Still first down.
That right side consists of Dwayne White, Irv Eatman, and Chris Dressel. Brett Miller.
Big Brett's been a little rusty. Hasn't got an awful lot of playing time in there early here at right tackle. One of the NFL's strongest guys right there, number 72. He's in that arm wrestling competition every single year, and he's always right up near the top.
In place of a pretty strong guy right now, Irv Eatman. First and 15 from the 26. Baxter. And Baxter running ahead to the 30 for a gain of 4.
We talked about this offensive line being as strong as it is, and one of the strongest is the big guy, number 67 right here, White, working against Brian Noble. Watch him pound into Noble, 91, but a fine job by Noble coming off the block and making the tackle. Let's keep an eye on that whole group all day long. If they wear out, that's where the Packers will wear out, in the pounding up front.
Sean Patterson in place of Robert Brown for the Packers. 2nd and 11. Play action. And O'Brien sacked by Brian Noble. Noble came into the game with a half a sack credit. Make it 1.5 now.
And this is one of the things we refer to as a check blitz. You know, you hear that term all the time. You know what that means? That means he's going to check, and if the guy doesn't go out in the pass pattern, the back's blocking, he reads that, here he comes. No pass to the back, I'm coming. And Ken O'Brien said, you know, play action passes, if I get sacked, it's my responsibility. I've got to sell them on the fact that it's a run.
He's got a 3rd and 25, but penalty flags will stop the play here. But not before Leroy Butler gets a free shot in on Al Toon. And this is going to be against the Jets, pushing them back even further.
Ball start. Number 72 offense. Moving prior to the snap. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
And that's Brett Miller.
And Bruce Coslin's experimenting a little with Miller here at right tackle for Eatman. And Cadigan back at left guard. It's the quickest way to get yourself out during an experiment is to start jumping off sides and making mistakes.
Ball pushed back to the 11, making it 3rd and 30. 46 seconds left in the first quarter play, and Thomas picks up exactly 2 yards on a play. Lester Archambault in on the tackle.
Remember we talked about after Lagerman's hit on Mikowski that the crowd was a huge factor for Bruce Coslin. Look at him screaming at his guys. Keep an eye on this guy. He's going to get that whole offense over to the sideline, and he's going to start doing a little chewing here early because the Jets are not good enough to think they can out-talent the Green Bay Packers. They have got to play at the top of their game, and right now they're making the mistakes, and the Packers aren't.
Louis Aguiar, another low snap, and he does a good job again of getting it away. Vi Sikahema from the 49 and gets it up to about the 45. Chris Burkett on the tackle. And that's the end of the first quarter with the score. Green Bay and New York all tied up at 3 apiece.
But it really isn't fit for a family.
And there's Paul Frazier. You pointed out at the top of the game. Watch him.
Another low snap. It will be a factor because they're coming after Frazier and testing him a lot.
1st and 10 for the Packers. Ball at the 45 of New York. And Mikowski under pressure again. Throwing on the run, the flag on the play. And I tell you, the flag was thrown in the area where Rich Moran was. I don't know if that was holding or not.
Well, if it wasn't, it's missing a heck of an opportunity. And that's definitely is holding because you get in a situation like that where your quarterback's in trouble, offensive linemen are bound to do just about anything.
Holding. 57 offense. 10 yards. Still 1st down.
Isn't it amazing what body language does, though, James? You can sit up here or watch it at home, and you can tell immediately which one of those 5 guys it was that got the penalty because he's the one closest to the ref protesting.
Rich Moran, 7th-year player out of San Diego State, will make it 1st and 20 for the Pack, and this is exactly what Mikowski was complaining about yesterday in talking with us.
The mistakes that kill him. Don says it's 1st and 20. What do you call? What do you practice? You run a run so it can be 2nd and 19?
And he's got 4 wide receivers in. Flag on a play and another drop ball. This one by Wilson.
And another holding penalty on the Packer line. We're looking at 1st and 30, I think.
Maybe Tony Mandarich. You know, Charles Wilson got his first start.
Illegal use of the hands to the head. Number 65 offense.
It's Ron Hallstrom. Charles Wilson got his first start last week in place of Perry Kemp, and I don't know if you want to call it jitters or not, but he dropped the first pass thrown his way.
Illegal use of the hands to the head at the face mask. Number 65 offense. 10 yards. Still 1st down.
You know, sometimes those offensive linemen miss when they go to punch and that hand goes up in the face mask and a little nasal massage goes on there, and they tend to throw a little flag on that every once in a while. But you know, watch just to the right of White here, the ref with the white hat. Right there. See that? Hallstrom, 65, clearly had that hand all in Paul Frazier's face.
1st and 30. Ball back at the 35 of Green Bay now. And Mikowski throws it to Workman. And Workman is stopped solid. solid at about the 46-yard line. So they pick back up 11 of those 30 yards. Tony Stargell with the hit.
You know, I always enjoy, James, when you show a shot of the head coach on the sideline. It's 1st and 30, and he's looking down at his list. That is complete malarkey.
Nothing
there is nothing on that list that they prepare for that says 1st and 30.
Nor anything down there for 2nd and 19.
And there's the sheet we were talking about, Lindy and Fonnie checking. He's just faking you out there, folks. He's pretending there's something on that list for 2nd and 19. They want to get about half of it here. They're not going to get greedy. They need 9 to 10 yards.
And Mikowski gets rid of it to Workman again. And Workman has the first down. No, take that. He's back to the original line of scrimmage. Tackle from behind by Paul Fraze. So Workman does not get the first down. He does pick up 12 on the play. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, JB, in Chicago, Eric Kramer starting for the injured Rodney Peete to Brett Perryman, 10 yards and a touchdown. And the Lions lead the Bears 7-3 in the 2nd quarter. Let's go back to the Meadowlands. JB and Randy.
All right, Greg, a battle for first place in the Central Division between the Lions and the Bears. 3rd and 6 here. And complete to Sterling Sharp for the first down. Inside the 30 of New York. Don Boyd Odegaard on the tackle. 14-yard pass play from Mikowski to Sharp.
You know, we talked about, James, at the beginning of this game, the pressure the Jets were getting on Don Mikowski with just 4 rushers. Look at the pressure they're not getting on Don Mikowski, and look at the body language and the difference in the confidence he stands back there with and just drills that thing out. Let's see one more time, a little ISO on Sterling Sharp, number 84. Very physical, extremely strong receiver. Odegaard doesn't make that tackle. It could have been 6 for the Packers.
Sharp will be pleased that he caught that pass, keeping the streak alive now, 48 consecutive games with at least 1 pass. And this is Woodside. And Woodside not much doing there. A gain of 1 on the play.
And from a psychological standpoint, a big boost for an offensive team. You make 2 bad mistakes, you get yourself in 1st and 30, and you're steadily backing up towards the tunnel, towards your own locker room on the field. And now they come back, they get a first down, they're easily within Jackie's field goal range. Good time right now to go for a shot. 2nd and 9, go into the end zone, go for 6.
Ball at the 26 of New York, 12:08 left in the first half of play, all tied at 3 apiece. And Mikowski being chased by Lagerman, trying to outrun him and dragged down from behind. And a loss of 4 on the play, and that is the sack that Lagerman was looking for. He's got 5 on the season now.
There's big Jeff Lagerman. I mean, it looks like, I wonder if he's got Gastineau's locker in the Jets locker room. I think the ghost, the possession of the locker room has taken over his hairstyles. But watch Lagerman and his persistence. Gets trapped all the way inside, gives up that ground to Mikowski. Mikowski knows right now, folks, he ain't going to get away from Lagerman. And remember, that is a big man. That's a guy that's 6'5", 270 pounds chasing that guy down.
3rd and 13.
The crowd's back in it.
Hand off to Workman. And Workman is going to be about 6 yards shy of the first down. R.J. Kors on the tackle. And that 5th sack by Jeff Lagerman, a career high for him. He's got 5.
And that'll set up, James, 41, 42-yard field goal. A draw in that situation on 3rd and 13. Were they trying to set up their field goal team? I mean, if you are, you got to move it more towards the middle of the field if you're trying to set up a field goal. I don't understand. Tie game this early, why you don't throw the ball in that situation.
So Chris Jackie has already tied a career high with a 53-yarder. This will be a 42-yarder. And for him, a chip shot. So it's been a battle of the kickers. Green Bay right now on top by 3.
Aunt Gladys.
Let's take a look at Green Bay leading in the passing yards category. Rushing yards, New York, not particularly exorbitant. Chris Jackie, a 53-yard career tying field goal, and Mikowski And I just mentioned to you during the commercial break that Mikowski's still under some pressure, but you said that's a given.
The offensive line is going to get some pressure put on Mikowski, but the line's doing the good job when they really need to do it right now. The biggest difference is, hey, these Jets have had a week off, and they really look it. Right now, they look rusty, and they look a little uninspired. They've got to remember what Kozlik keeps telling them. Hey, guys, you're not that good. You've got to be ready to play every week.
You said also that you expected a close game.
It's going to be a real close game. I think Green Bay's defense is too good.
Mathis from his own one. And Mathis has got a seam. Terrence Mathis up near midfield before being stopped by the kicker, Chris Jackie. A 50-yard punt and a 49-yard return. Make that a kickoff and an excellent return.
And there's very few things that get a team fired up quicker than a big play on special teams. Mathis not only making tackles on punts and everything else, gets a big return here. And you hesitate to call that a tackle by Jackie. He happened to be a stumbling block.
From midfield. And Thomas ahead for 4. Will bring up a 2nd and 6. Ball will be spotted at about the 46. Stay tuned for doubleheader game 2 when you'll see either the Saints and the Rams or the Cardinals and the Cowboys, except for those of you here in the New York area. Rams or Cardinals, they'll both be taking on some good action there. Saints and the Rams. I tell you, New Orleans certainly has to look out. I mean, the Rams, you can't get any lower than this, Randy.
Well, the Rams aren't going to play much worse, and if they are, they ought to tie their little challenge Indianapolis for the first pick next year.
Thomas, first down. Inside the 25. Stopped by Mark Murphy. A 12-yard jaunt by Blair Thomas.
Well, that last little inspirational speech that Bruce Kozlik gave his team, his offensive team specifically, seems to have worked well. They're coming out with some real fire. The important thing now is not to make a mistake, not to drop the ball. When you're getting blocking like that from your guys up front, it makes Thomas's job a lot easier. The line gets you the first 3 or 4 yards. Blair does the rest.
8 carries for 32 yards for Blair Thomas. 9-10 left in the first half. Thomas again. And an excellent stick that time by Tony Bennett.
Brought down by Tony Bennett.
And a loss of 2 on the play as we take a look at Blair Thomas.
And his production the first 4 games and the last 4 games. A lot of that, in my opinion, has to do with the turmoil at their tight end position. The tight end in a Bruce Kozlik offense has got to be a fairly good receiver, but he's got to be a real good blocker. They've had Boyer, they've had Kelly, they've had Dressel, they've had Maddox, and it seems every one of them has been down, and that turmoil has cost Blair Thomas some running yards.
2nd and 12 from the 36. This is Thomas again. And Thomas tackled again for a loss of 1 on the play. Scott Stevens leading the charge. You mentioned this Green Bay run defense as being excellent, the best in the league, and a per attempt of only 2.9 yards they're giving up.
And a great challenge one-on-one is going to be big Dwayne White, 67, working with Brian Noble there. He saw him having a few words. And it would look right now the Jets are better off with a no-nonsense running game, and that's north and south. Run that sucker straight in there. Don't try to go east and west and try to get around these Green Bay Packers. The Packers are very effective at playing the relationship to the ball and shedding blocks and making tackles.
Ball at the 37, 3rd and 13, and flags on the play.
Early motion on Brett Miller, 72, right tackle.
False start, number 72 offense, moving prior to the snaps, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Randy, I have not heard a report from the field as to why Brett Miller is in so long in place of Irv Eatman.
3rd and 18.
Well, I know Kozlik told us on Friday that he wanted to get a couple of his linemen, specifically Miller and Cadigan, in for about a quarter or so today. So maybe this is the situation. But like I mentioned earlier, it's a quick way to get yourself out and the experiment to end if you keep making those kinds of mistakes.
Exactly the 4th motion coming from the Jets. incomplete intended receiver was Johnny Hector.
I mentioned just a couple plays ago, the Jets have fire, they have determination, they're running the ball well. What they can't do is make some dumb mistakes and bad decisions. Bad decisions trying to run sideways against this Packer team. Dumb mistakes jumping off sides and dropping passes.
Mikowski wasn't too long ago, as a matter of fact, against the Rams several weeks back, that he badly bruised that right shoulder of his throwing arm. Aguilar with an excellent punt. Touchback. It'll be brought out to the 20. Packers ball when we come back. 191 on hand here at Giant Stadium. Not too much to cheer about right now with 7:05 left in the first half. And as great as the Packers are on defense against the rush, they're as bad on the offense rushing.
Rushing against that kind of a defense every day in practice doesn't improve one's attitude, I'm sure. But the key here is going to be pass protection for the Packers, not running the ball.
Mikowski under pressure again, throwing to which side, and overthrows him intentionally as the rush again finds Mikowski on the turf.
Mike Grimm on coverage.
That was a coverage situation, James. That is not a situation where the blocking is not good. The blocking is fine. The guys downfield for the Jets have done a good job of covering everybody. And you see Fraze and Washington put just another little lump on Mikowski's head.
Add it all up, Mikowski only 5 of 12 for 65 yards thus far. 2nd and 10. And that is a sack. Scott Mercereau back in the game. A loss of 6 yards on the play. 2nd sack of the season for Mercereau.
Mercereau was a little slowed. You saw him go out of the game earlier with a little gimpy ankle. They obviously taped him up, and he just power rushes and bulls his way in over a fellow big guy, Hallstrom, 65. He's lined up right over here at the left defensive tackle over Hallstrom. Now he just pushes his way through there. That's a 310-pound guard he's pushing around like that, and good patience by Mercereau.
3rd and 16 from the 14.
Quarterback's nightmare.
Incomplete. Thrown in the direction of Charles Wilson. And Mikowski frustrated as well as Wilson.
Remember, folks, look at this. 2 sacks, 7 hurries, 5 knockdowns, and we're in the 2nd quarter.
And Green Bay coming into the game offensively had allowed 27 sacks, 29 now.
Mikowski's going to prove he can take a shot better than Chuck Wepner, the old heavyweight everybody used to beat up on.
McJulian. Mathis from his own 43. Slips through the hole and is hit hard by Bryce Pop. So Mathis, as he slips through the hole, is popped by Pop. 4.9 hang time. Make that 1st and 10. And Thomas with a 7-yard run up to about the 43 will bring up a 2nd and 3.
And what we've seen so far today is a Green Bay Packer team coming here emotionally up, ready to play. And we've seen a Jet team come into here very nonchalant. If they were half as fired up as these Jets fans were, they'd have 2 more touchdowns right now on the board for them. But they've been very apathetic so far in this game. They've started this drive out hot. They started the last drive out very effective and very strong. Can they sustain it?
Irv even back at right tackle. Mike Haight back in on the line as well. 2nd and 3. And a gain of 1 by Thomas. Robert Brown on the tackle.
And there's going to be some headaches tomorrow morning between the guys up front. You take the front 7 for the Packers and that front 5 offensive line for the Jets. As much button heads as they're going to do today, there's going to be some sore foreheads come tomorrow morning.
A 3rd and 2 situation for the Jets coming up. The Jets 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. 4:53 left in the first half of play. Baxter still on back. Baxter, the ball carry. And I'm not sure. Let's see where they want to spot it. You think?
He's just short.
Brian Noble, give him credit.
Well, the crowd's letting Bruce Coslett know what they think. They think on 4th and short, go for it. And if not for the stumble, that would have been a first down. But remember, as Baxter stumbled and fell and was on the ground, all that's necessary is contact, and he's down. Take a look at this here. The sweep will be going to the right. Watch Baxter. Just gets tripped up by Brian Noble. That was a good spot by the ref.
Scott Stephen, the down Packer player, being tended to.
And from personnel on the field, it would appear that Bruce Coslett has no intention of punting this ball. He's going to go for this. And it shouldn't be a real mystery if the Jets go for first down here where they're going to run the ball. Or if it's a play action, where they're going to fake the play action at. It's going to be behind that right side with Eatman and White and Sweeney.
4th and inches.
If you get the push, you can go over the top.
First down by a whole bunch for Brad Baxter. A 6-yard bull run by Baxter.
Well, 6'1", 235, I could hope out of the backfield the guy can get some momentum moving. But more importantly, up front, Chris Will and Haight on the left side of the line get some fine blocks. Make that an easy one.
First and 10 from the 35 of Green Bay. 3:23 left in the first half. Packers on top, 6-3. Play action. O'Brien going up top, looking for more. Incomplete. And Jerry Holmes with him step for step. You mentioned Jerry Holmes maybe being picked on because of his age. At 33, he can still stride.
He can run, and that was a good job by the entire defensive backfield on that play, not buying the play action fake, because O'Brien does a fine job, much like the Berg does in Kansas City. Puts that thing out there, actually uses the ball to fake, which is unusual for a quarterback to do. That's high risk. Now watch Holmes. See, that's a touchdown for him. If you prevent 6 points, that goes to 6 in your book.
2nd and 10. O'Brien completes it to him, and he somehow holds on to the ball after being stuck awfully hard by Chuck Cecil. A 20-yard pass play, but Toon paid the price.
And that kind of a hit is the exact reason why the world is full of guys that won't go inside. You want to be a wide receiver in the league? You think you can take a hit like that, walk off the field and cheer to the crowd and high-five your friends? Listen to this. Whoa. That cracking sound is helmet to helmet, and there are some brain cells dying when that happens.
Ball at the 15, 1st and 10. Baxter. And Baxter ahead for 3. We'll bring up a 2nd and 7, tackled by Tony Bennett. Ken O'Brien, 4 of 12 for 67 yards, and all 4 passes completed to Al Toon.
I was just handed a note here, James. I got to wonder if Tim McKyer was covering John Taylor down in Atlanta today, because John Taylor and Steve Young just set a new club record, 97-yard touchdown pass against the Falcons. Niners up 7-0. He's quite outspoken, some of the stuff he decides he wants to tell people before games.
Not bashful. And meantime, we run down to the 2-minute warning here in the Meadowlands. Packers on top, 6-3.
Sport.
Jets with the ball at the 12 of Green Bay, 2nd and 7. Both teams with their full complement of timeouts remaining.
You see Altoon on the sideline. He's feeling all right. You know, right here, 2nd and 7. It's kind of like a 1-2 pitch in baseball. It's a throwaway pitch. This is a throwaway play. Great play action down.
Baxter in motion. And it's complete to Thomas. And Thomas inside the 10 to about the 9, tackled by Mark Murphy. 3 yards picked up on the play. Will bring up a 3rd and 4.
A nice job on that play, too, by the Packer defense. As they moved Baxter in motion and brought him out to clear out that side of the defense, Murphy wouldn't buy that and kept his responsibility, made a nice play.
And Packers call timeout, leaving them with 2. They lead it by 3. Johnson, after a wicked hit a couple of plays back, is back in the game. And the Jets, impressive on this drive here, 8 plays, covering 41 yards, taking 4.5 off the clock. 3rd and 4, ball at the 9 of Green Bay, 1:45 left in the half. And O'Brien sacked, leading the way with Sean Patterson and Tony Bennett.
Big gamble by Green Bay. They decided the pass rush and getting after O'Brien's more important than anything else, and they prove it. Archambault getting lots of pressure. Patterson, lots of pressure. Great job. Pushes the Jets back to the end of Leahy's distance. There's plenty of time here at the end of the half. The last thing the Jets can do is right now is relax and assume they've got a lock on a tie going into the locker room. But Houston-Washington looks to be as good a game as they talked about, and we talked about that one. You know, if you noticed on all those scores we saw, this is not one of those scoring orgy weeks. You're not going to see a lot of 42-28 games. It would appear you get 17 points this week, you're going to win a football game.
Especially surprising in the Washington-Houston game, as high scoring as both of those teams have been all season long.
Well, people forget, kind of like the 49ers back in the 80s, that's a great defensive team too. Both Washington and Houston have very effective defenses.
Aguiar to kick off for the Jets. And Thompson from his own 4. And Thompson run out of bounds at the 19 by Eric McMillan.
A lot of field goals in this game, and one of the good reasons these teams aren't doing much at all offensively is look what they're doing on first down. Both made the point to us Friday and yesterday. We got to get, 4 to 5 yards, 3 to 4 yards. We got to really move that ball good on first down. And so far, Bruce Coslett's Jets and Lindy and Fonnie's Packers have really been weak on first down. And a lot of that is just the yardage on first down has come on passes, not on the ground.
Packers with 1 timeout remaining with 1:32 left in the half, all tied at 6 apiece. 4 wideouts in for the Pack. And Workman on the ground. And Workman, no gain on the play. Excellent defense by the Jets, and Brian Washington specifically with the tackle.
What a surprise, a Packer running play stuffed.
Be nice, Randy.
Well, I mean, you got to throw the ball in this situation. And if you're the Jets, you got to take Sterling Sharp away.
To Workman with the pass. Still on his feet. And slips across the 25 at about the 27 as Workman was trying to head toward out of bounds. Clock continues to tick.
It would appear the Packers are just going to sort of lay down and go for one big play down the field, hoping that'll give them some sort of field position for a field goal.
They're facing a 3rd and 3 situation.
You got a quarterback in Mikowski who's been hit a lot in the head. He's getting signals from the sideline. You see that kind of look on his face like, what in the heck are you signaling in at me? Are you waving at me or are you giving me a play?
Green Bay running attack, still anemic. 7 carries for 12 yards. And complete for the first down up to the 40. As Perry Kemp trying to hurry up and get up, but the Jets won't let him up. As Green Bay burns off its last timeout with 14 seconds left in the half.
14-yard gain.
First and 10 for the Packers. 14 seconds left in the half. Ball at the 41 of Green Bay. And Mikowski throws it complete to Kemp for yet another first down. Fumble, no whistle, so the ball was recovered by the Jets.
Well, there's a review waiting to happen. You know, I got to wonder why the Packers huddled up back there. They had 50-something seconds left, and they went into a huddle.
Well, no stoppage in the action thus far, so.
Let's take another look at the very end of this. It's down. It is a catch. He's going down. No. He's down. He is down by contact.
And the Jets run the play. O'Brien going up top. A jump ball situation in the vicinity of Rob Moore. And it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Chris Burkett.
Touchdown is a byproduct of an absolute officiating joke. They should never have had to run that play. If you're going to have instant replay, they talked about it on the NFL today. If you're going to have instant replay, you've got to use it and use it effectively. That was not a fumble. The Packers should not have lost the ball, and the Jets should not have this touchdown.
Well, it's being reviewed upstairs, this particular play, the touchdown.
One more time. You know, you ever wonder why they call these Hail Marys? Watch this. 1 contact, 2 contacts, 3 contacts, catch by Burkett. I don't know why they're going to review that one. They should have reviewed the play before it. See the contacts. Holmes hits it. Toon hits it. He catches it and rolls in. I mean, a knee went down before he got to the goal line, but somebody's got to touch you for that to be a factor. Let's watch him again. You got Moore heading downfield. Here comes Toon and Burkett. Burkett is in the right place at the right time. You know, I've already said it once. I'm not going to wear it out. But, yeah, I am going to wear it out. That's a joke. That should not be a touchdown. The play before, the Packers did not fumble the ball. It was down by contact. And the replay official, I think, didn't have enough time or didn't review it properly. That was not a fumble.
But the Jets will take the score nonetheless as Pat Leahy comes on for the point after. And the half ends with the Jets scoring on a Hail Mary pass, a 50-yard pass from Ken O'Brien to Chris Burkett.
First of all, let's take a look at the play 2 plays ago. Now, when exactly does this ball come out? Is it out before he gets to the ground? He's down, the ball comes out. It's referred to as down by contact. The ball should be spotted right there. It wasn't. Nobody had the guts or whatever to call it that, and as a result, here is your result. A freak play, a batted ball, whatever you want to call it, but Burkett with the concentration in this situation, which is practiced in practice. There it is, 7 points for the Jets.
And that result has the Jets in front of the Packers 13-6. We'll take you back to our NFL studios after this. At the end of the first half, Jets leading at 13-6 over the Packers. And Randy, again, the play of the first half. Was it a fumble or was it not a fumble?
Got me fired up, I guarantee you that, but we see another angle of this thing we did not see earlier. Watch Clifton take this thing out right now before he goes to the ground. Gotta say, I made a mistake. I apologize. That is a fumble. That was a Jets ball. Fine play.
And the Jets, of course, go on to capitalize with this Hail Mary play here.
12 seconds left to go in the half when that play started. And as it bats around and goes around, Burkett was in the right spot at the right time, catches the ball, and rolls into the end zone.
Now, clearly, that was the play of the first half. But, Randy, let's go back to the woes that have been plaguing Green Bay all season long, not being able to rush the ball on the ground. A total of 12 yards in the first half on the ground on 7 carries.
Well, that is almost to be expected. Lindy Infante is committed to trying to run the ball. Right now, they are not being effective. What they are being effective doing is pass protecting on occasion. They're getting good pass protection when they need it.
All right, Jets on top 13-6, and we'll be back with the start of the second half here at Giant Stadium in a moment. Don Mikowski in the jacket there was being consoled by Blair Keel before we came back from the break, and it has in fact been a rough half for Don Mikowski. Sacked twice, have been sacked a total of 27 times coming into the game. Ken O'Brien, on the other hand, we'll talk about a Hail Mary play working for him.
Well, both quarterbacks right now are getting beaten up a little bit, and the 59 yards for the Jets is not really impressive when you consider 3 weeks ago this is the #1 rushing team in the NFL. They've dropped from 170 some odd yards per game. Coming into this game, they're down to 139 yards a game.
And Wilson losing the handle on the ball, picks it up at his own 8. And Wilson across the 40. Slowed up by Aguiar, the kicker, and tackled from behind by McMillan. So Wilson atoning for a mishandle that time.
So it always throws players off on special teams when something like that happens. The coverage overcommits, you get a couple of good blocks, and a gap opens up in the coverage. Make a move, make a kicker miss. Don't let the kicker bring you down.
It winds up being a 36-yard kickoff return. Ball marked at the 44. 1st and 10 for the Packers. Out of the I formation. And Mikowski loses the handle from under center, and he does recover it. Randy, you are, in fact, but then again, you've got some support for being so hard on kickers.
Well, hard kickers are kickers. But Aguiar does a very good job here. He does not, look at him plant his feet. Good mechanics for a kicker. He doesn't overcommit. He just holds his ground, and Wilson runs right to him. You saw that last snap right there was fumbled by the Packers. Remember, the regular center, James Campen, is out with an injured leg, and in now is longtime veteran Blair Bush at center. Veteran or not, when you come into a game like this cold, there are going to be exchange problems.
2nd and 10. Clean exchange this time, but down with the sack. Bill Pickell, his first sack of the season. And Mikowski gets dropped for the 3rd time this afternoon.
What the Packers are doing here what Lindy Infante said they would do, and that's go to the shorter drops. Watch Mikowski plant, and the rush just comes to him. Nothing fancy. Pickell doesn't do much except bull rush Hallstrom, something he's done his whole career. Pickell is not a nifty, quick, give you a kind of a big move kind of a guy. He'll plod back there and get those sacks.
3rd and 14. Ball at the 40 of Green Bay. 4 wideouts. And throws it complete. Did he catch it?
It's going to be right at the 1st down, too. Weathers just did bring that in, and he's right at the marker. Depends on the spot. Would appear that's going to be just short.
There was nothing definitive by the officials indicating the catch, but apparently it is.
We're going to bring the sticks out and give it a measure. We'll take another look at that and see if Weathers did indeed catch that ball. Mikowski had a few different people open. One of them was Workman out in the flat, but he opted to hold on to that ball and drill it in, and it is just short. It is 4th down.
Just about a foot shy.
And the Packers will be punting. It looks like. No, they're going to go for it. They got Larson, the linebacker, in at the tight end. They'll go for it here on 4th. Just short of that 45-yard line, 44-yard line. He caught that ball definitely.
4th and inches.
This is the time for an attitude play. You just blast this one.
And the play is stopped. The officials timeout. And this play is being reviewed. That's the umpire signaling a stoppage in the play.
Let's take one more look at this. Is this a catch?
Completed forward pass.
Okay.
4th down. The play is being reviewed for progress.
Forward progress is what they're reviewing. It is just short of that 46-yard line. One more time. Where is he touched? Where'd the ball get? I don't see the problem. I think they've got forward progress marked just perfectly on that play.
Al Sabato, the replay official, on the right. Well, he's had a busy afternoon. And Reggie Roberts, the NFL communicator, on the left. You know, prior to Mikowski throwing that pass, he had actually been interfered with by Darrell Davis, who had some heat on him, and those long arms forced him to step up a bit more in the pocket.
One more time, let's take a look at
further review. The play stands as called 4th down.
Like we said, Weathers caught that ball just short of the 46-yard line, exactly where they have it marked. It was a fine call. Watch where the ball lands after he catches it. They're marking forward progress. Fine spot.
Couldn't be any more accurate.
When you're not blocking well for the run, the quicker the hitting play, the better.
And Workman has it with plenty to spare.
That can be a great psychological boost for these Green Bay Packers, because if you watch, on that right side, there's not much penetration. Lageman got good penetration, but he was on the wrong side. Washington 48 diving over the top, but he was too early.
And Mandarich did a nice job of pushing his man back several yards.
Well, you know Big Tony Mandarich can run block. There was no argument there. That guy is a people mover.
1st and 10 for the Packers. Ball on the 44. 12-18 left in the 3rd. Jets on top. 13-6. Mikowski back to pass with time. And complete to Wilson. And Wilson about 3 yards shy of what's necessary for the 1st down.
One more time to the end zone. I mean, Wilson should get a catch and a half for this one, because Mikowski overthrows it. He goes up the ladder to get it. And we talked about Tony Mandarich working at the right tackle position for the run. He's good against the run. Well, right here, pretty good against the pass, too, working against Piquel. Just stuffs him in there, and the whole Packer line does a fine job of protecting their quarterback.
2nd and 3 from the 37. Woodside. And Woodside a little confused, and that forces the Packers to call a timeout. Packers burn off one. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. 3. Ball at the 37. And the pitch back to Thompson. And Thompson somehow fights his way forward, and it looks like he has enough for the first down.
He's going to be just short, James. I think we're going to mark that right about the 35-yard line, but it was a great job by Thompson. That was covered by the New York defense. Watch Mo Lewis and the rest of the right side of this Jet defense just string this thing out. Up to now, they're doing everything fine. Slight catch, slight detail. You got to tackle the running back when you got a chance. And a good job there by Thompson, just not going down.
So this will be third, and call it a long one. And Workman, I think he has it this time. He stretched the ball, and it looked like he may have gotten it, but we'll await the official call here.
And another,
boy, that spot looks a little short, Randy.
Another good example of determination. But if that's where they have that ball spotted, it's going to maybe be fourth down coming up here. Let's take another look at it. Hallstrom, the right guard, sort of gets stuffed back into the backfield. Mercereau does a good job penetrating through the right guard. That's what stuffs the play back. And Workman dives and lunges and tries to reach that ball out over the first down marker. And it's just short.
Will he go for it again?
Well, you went for it before. You might as well go for it now, because if you try to kick a field goal from here, you're asking for another 52-yarder.
Well, Chris Jackie has banged home a 53-yarder this afternoon.
Well, they've gone there twice in critical situations. The strength of the Packer line is behind Big Hallstrom and Tony Mandarich on the right side.
Workman. Hit hard by Kyle Clifton. Let's see where the spot is here.
He was hit right at the marker right there, but I think he got the first down.
I've called a couple. I think I'm just going to wait because I have no idea where they decide to spot it.
I maybe should have laid out because it looks like they marked this one short. Let's look at it again. Hallstrom, good job by Kyle Clifton penetrating and getting through there and making the tackle.
And he does have the first down. Workman with a workman-like effort on that drive to finally give the Packers a first down. 10 minutes left in the third period of play. Jets on top 13-6. Jets in second place in the AFC East with a mark of 4-4. Packers at 2-6 in the NFC Central. First and 10. Play action. Mo Lewis all on top of Mikowski. As Mikowski gets rid of it, was a receiver in the area. There is a flag down back at Mikowski.
That's an intentional grounding call because Mikowski specifically threw that ball away to avoid the sack. There was no doubt there he was trying to avoid that sack when he threw it, even though he had his back right there in front of where the ball was thrown.
And a loss of down on the play.
Intentional grounding. Losses down at the spot.
And that one was on Mikowski, trying to sell with a little play action here. But look at Mo Lewis. He's back there the whole way. No one gets close to blocking him. Darrell Thompson was the nearest guy, but he was on the ground. No doubt there. He was trying to avoid the sack.
Second and 22, 6 defensive backs for the Jets. Ford and Odegaard. And Mikowski runs it. There is a flag on the play. Mikowski has the first down and the touchdown, but there is a flag back in midfield.
This will come back. It's going to be holding against one of the Packer offensive linemen.
Well, going by what you said, if body language is a giveaway, then that's Rich Moran, maybe.
And the prime example of the frustration of Don Mikowski. Get a big play, look around for the flag.
He didn't have time to look around for the flag that time, but he knew it was there.
And that was thrown after Mikowski had cleared the pocket area. And Big Hallstrom is not happy about that call. Has to be restrained by his fellow line mates.
Holding. Number 65 offense. 10 yards. Still second down.
That is Ron Hallstrom, 10th year veteran out of Iowa.
And Hallstrom had to be, look at him, he's still yelling at White. He had to be restrained by his teammates. Take another look at it. Hallstrom's at the right guard position, number 65. Well, you got to agree with that guy that just threw that flag, because Hallstrom had his arm wrapped all the way around the shoulder of Tickell.
2nd and 32 from the 44 of Green Bay. Marvin Washington on top of him. Incomplete, and a flag on a play again at the sideline.
That's going to be, he threw that ball downfield. He was past the line of scrimmage when he threw that pass.
And is that Mikowski still on the ground?
And that'll be another loss of down for the Jets, plus the yards. And Mikowski is down, holding that right side again. Remember, that right hand has been hurting him.
Boy, this series epitomizes exactly what Mikowski was telling us yesterday and showing us by way of his expressions.
Illegal forward pass. Number 7. The pass was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Plus loss of down. Third down.
Mike Tomczak was warming up on the sidelines. We'll see if he enters the game. Lindy and Fonte had been going through a rotation of the quarterbacks with Blair Keel and Mike Tomczak, but Tomczak is the clear number 2 now.
Let's take another look at it. He scrambles. He's doing everything he can. But as soon as he crosses the line, the 45 was the line of scrimmage. And he's shoved from behind down onto the ground. That's why that left shoulder or ankle. Oh, it's his leg. I thought it was his arm.
Mike Tomczak comes in with a 3rd and 35 situation facing him. And he hands off to Workman. And Workman inside the 45 to about the 43. So McJulian will come on to punt it away for the Packers. And you see Don Mikowski being tended to on the sidelines. Well, he is really taking one brutal beating all season long and really hasn't complained about his line, Randy, the way some people might.
Well, exactly. You know, quarterbacks say, you know, they get all the credit. They also get all the blame. People say they make so much money. They can't pay enough guys to take the kind of hits that Don Mikowski's had to take this year. And he's been a guy here in 1991 that's tried to do everything himself.
Take a look at Michael Grimm, the corner for the Jets. 4th-year player out of Virginia Union was shaken up on that play. Grimm was talking about the challenge facing him today. He was looking forward to it with Sterling Sharp. And the only word we get from the field is that they're examining Don Mikowski's left knee, which we obviously can see clearly. So Paul McJulian, the busiest punter in the NFL. Terrence Mathis back for the Jets at his own 10. And Mathis signaling for the fair catch at his own 19. It'll be Jets ball with 8:44 left in the 3rd when we come back. Defense was on the field quite a stretch that time. And if you're the Packers, has to be awfully frustrating to come away with zilch. 1st and 10 for the Jets. Ball at their own 19. 8:44 left in the 3rd. Moore in motion. And Baxter with an excellent run of 11 yards for a Jets first down.
That last drive for the Green Bay Packers might be a futility record in the NFL. Look at that, 11 plays, 13 yards, as long as they had it. Now remember, they went it for it on 2 times on fourth down and made it. There were 2 loss of down penalties involved there. 1 touchdown that was called back. I mean, that's unbelievable to me. I mean, that's something that psychologically has got to put a real hitch in your giddy-up.
Russell and Kelly, 2 tight ends for the Jets. Thomas slowed up by Johnny Holland. Live at Giant Stadium here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, an interconference battle between the Packers and the Jets. Jets on top 13-6. A Hail Mary 50-yard pass from O'Brien to Burkett accounts for the difference right now.
And it really has been, James, a Hail Mary, but it's been a real defensive struggle. It's been something that back and forth. Both these defenses have been very strong, except for that one big play at the end of the half. It's really been a smash-mouth game.
2nd and 6 play action. And Noble misses the sack attempt. Incomplete pass. Intended receiver was Al Toombs. But O'Brien had to get rid of that as Brian Noble had a bead on him.
Well, Noble might have missed the sack, James, but I think his presence, getting just as close as he did and getting a hand on O'Brien, was responsible for that pass being thrown errantly.
Boy, Sam White hoping to hold on for his first victory of the season against Cleveland. 3rd and 6 for the Jets for only 1 of 7. 3rd down conversion. O'Brien out of the shotgun. Going up top. Incomplete as Burkett was the intended receiver. You know, Roy Butler getting a little help from Mark Murphy on the coverage.
You know, James, 3rd down conversions drive some people crazy. They go, well, that's an overused stat. Forget it. When you can do something like that, though, it's almost like a turnover. If you can make a team go 3 plays and out, 4 plays and out, it's almost as good as a turnover because you're getting your offense the ball back right now.
Let's take a look at Don Mikowski, the official word from the field. He has a hamstring problem, temporarily out.
And if that hamstring problem is indeed low behind the knee, that could be a real problem.
And Aguiar, who has been picking up snaps off the turf all day, gets it away to Sikahema from his own 25. And Sikahema up to about the 32, tackled by Paul Freeze.
Sideline, not a good sign for the Packers when you put an ice bag like that on injury, like a hamstring. I mentioned the problem with a hamstring being that low. That's as low as it gets. Those hamstring attachments are right there behind the knee, and that could be a season ender. I don't want to be a negative person, but if you pull a hamstring down that low, you're not coming back for a while.
Dr. Cross, I have not seen an injury that you don't know about yet in detail. 1st and 10 for the Packers from their own 38. There is a penalty flag. As Bill Pickell drops Keith Woodside.
Might have somebody lining up in the old neutral zone on that one, James.
And it's against the Jets. And Randy, I'm teasing you about the x-rays and all medical injuries, but I have not run into one you don't know about.
Well, here's that zone we were talking about. They can't come in there. Let's see what happens. The cadence, it would appear, might have made somebody twitch. Sure did. It's our friend as he just jumps right there. Can't do that, Mr. Washington. You know, James, you're talking about that hamstring. When you play 13 years, I did darn near everything. And believe it or not, offensive linemen do occasionally pull muscles. We're not giving much credit for having many muscles in our legs that would pull, but it does happen.
On 1st and 5, the handoff. There you go, Wood! And Woodside with an excellent run as he picks up the 5. And it's a first down for the Packers. Ball will be spotted just near midfield at the 49. 6:25 left in the 3rd period of play. Jets on top 13-6.
Well, let's see if Lindy and Fonnie's strategy of establishing a second-string quarterback like a Tomczak, who hasn't seen much of, and trying to give him more practice time during the week, bears fruit here. The guy's got more practice time. He's been able to be involved in the offense. Can he run the passing part of the offense?
Woodside in motion. And Tomczak completes it to Woodside. And Woodside inside the 45 to about the 43. Play action. Tomczak throws it low and incomplete. Intended receiver was Darrell Thompson.
And Mike knows that was his fault there. He did not step into that throw, and he kind of short-armed it and pulled the string on it.
Tomczak enjoys a very close relationship with Don Mikowski that predates him coming to Green Bay. As a matter of fact, a lot closer relationship than the two quarterbacks down in Tampa, Chris Chandler and Vinny Testaverde.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like saying the people over at the peace talks in Madrid don't have a close relationship, James. Chandler and Testaverde, you got to keep sharp objects and guns away from those two guys in the same room.
2nd and 10. Two tight end formation. Tomczak throws it complete to Wilson, and Wilson advances it up near the 6-yard line. And that will be enough for the first down. So it'll be a 1st and goal on that 14-yard pass play from Tomczak to Wilson.
Watch the right side of the screen. You'll see Washington coming in on a safety blitz. Tomczak getting some good pass protection from his running back Thompson. Steps up and just does spot Wilson, who very alertly, when he saw his quarterback start moving around, sat down. One of the reasons he had that kind of time? Look at Mandrick and Hallstrom. They're just manhandling Lagerman over there, who has moved over to Mandrick to try to take advantage of him.
1st and goal. 4 minutes left in the 3rd period of play. Woodside. And Woodside takes it down to about the 2. So it'll be 2nd and goal. Packers on the march.
So you talk about, when you're running, when you're doing things in football, you keep your eyes up and on the goal. Where do you want to go? Woodside doesn't have his eyes up the whole time. He's tripping, he's stumbling, he's falling, but he's not stopping.
And number 59, Kurt Larson, reports in as an eligible receiver for the Packers. 2nd and goal, ball at the 2.
And surprisingly, the Packer offense has been effective inside the 20, scoring touchdowns.
Workman, the tailback, in the carry. No gain on the play. Back to the line of scrimmage at the 2. Charles Wilson certainly has been effective.
Number 1.
And only his 2nd professional start, 4 catches for 48 yards.
And in this situation in the past, Don Mikowski, who you see there with the jacket on, has loved to go to his tight end, specifically his tight end, Ed West.
3rd and goal. Play action. Tomczak, touchdown. Green Bay, big Ed West. Mike Tomczak comes on in relief for the injured Mikowski and engineers a nice drive, culminating in that 1-yard toss to tight end Ed West. 3rd touchdown of the season for West.
And Tomczak benefited from 2 things Don Mikowski did not get. A running game to help him out and good pass protection. Little play action fake, and like we mentioned, they love to hit Ed West in those situations because people are so alert and so aware of West's blocking ability, they lose him in the goal line.
And the point after by Jackie is good as the Jets allow their first touchdown since the Houston contest 2 games ago.
And watch Kyle Clifton. He runs and flows and loses track of Big Ed West. We talked about the fact that teams will see him block and they leave him alone. That wasn't fancy. That's not even a pattern. That's called block the guy, get over the goal line, I'll throw it to you.
And kind of a shot put actually by Mike Tomczak, but effective.
Whether you push it or you throw it, it's still 6 points.
But effective. Chris Jackie. Low one. Mathis from the 4. And Mathis tries to reverse field. Fumble. Green Bay recovered. Tim House. So an era of effort on the part of Mathis And a fumble recovery by Tim House. And Coslett's face says it all.
Bruce Coslet knows if his team is not ready to play every week, they don't have enough talent to overcome people. Mathis trying to make something happen. Look at that. He's stumbling and bumbling and actually going down to the ground, tries to steady himself with his ball hand.
And Green Bay is trying to run a play before it's reviewed. And they get it off. And this is Woodside. And Woodside banging straight ahead right into the teeth of the Jets defense for a gain of 2.
You know, CBS's Hank Stram is always making the point of, you know, don't carry the ball in this arm, don't carry the ball in that arm. Well, I wasn't a coach. I was just a lowly lineman. But even I know you don't try to steady yourself with the hand you've got the football in. Look at him. He tries to put that down, and that's what knocks the ball down. He loses his balance. He loses his grip on the ball.
And Tomczak trying to do a little housekeeping on the field as there was some confusion apparently with the wideouts, Wilson and Sterling Sharp, so they have to burn off a timeout, leaving the Packers with 1. 1:34 left in the third quarter of play, and we're all tied at 13 apiece. And coming up next Sunday here on CBS Sports, it'll be the New York Giants at the Phoenix Cardinals. And it all gets underway, of course, earlier in the day, 12:30 Eastern time with the NFL Today. Greg and Terry, Leslie and Pat.
Keep track of this right here. It's 13-13 with 1:34 in the third quarter, and the Packers have now had to burn 2 timeouts off here in the third quarter. Could be extremely critical come late in the game, and they need some timeouts. They will deeply regret having to do this now.
And again, you saw the number of timeouts remaining. Green Bay with 1, the Jets with 3. Don Mikowski on the sidelines. Hamstring injury. Mike Tomczak has come on in relief and has engineered the only touchdown drive.
You saw, look at that sweatband on his left wrist. He's got a little cheat sheet on there. Made famous by Tom Maddie of the Baltimore Colts. But at least Maddie was a running back. I didn't know quarterbacks needed cheat sheets.
2nd and 9 for the Packers. Darrell Thompson. On play action, Tomczak under rush.
That's a fumble.
And Jeff Lageman gets the credit. But the Packers recover the ball. Boy, Lageman's having himself an excellent day.
The guy that makes this happen, though, Lageman gets the end result, but Washington drives through Manders with a spin move, makes Tomczak get out of the way, get out of the pocket, and get to where Lageman gets that opportunity to strip that ball loose.
And Jeff Lageman with an excellent day, bringing up a 3rd and 20 for the Packers. Intercepted by Brim. Second interception of the season for Michael Brim and return for 16 yards.
And quarterbacks are schooled from an early age to hit the open man. Well, the only open man right there was Michael Brim, so I guess you got to say he hit the open man. But how you don't see a cornerback standing right there and hit him in the chest is incredible.
37 seconds left in the third quarter play, all tied at 13. O'Brien looking for Coon, complete, first down. Out of bounds at the 44.
Now the Jets have 2 good positives going here. An interception, a big pass play. They've showed us today they've had a hard time maintaining that momentum. That's where the week off starts to show. And Tomczak clearly trying to get that ball to Wilson, just threw that ball straight into Brim's chest.
Brim, the young man who played center field in baseball in high school, was offered a contract by the Atlanta Braves. 1st and 10. Hector. First down, Jets. Momentum in the Jets' favor, and that's the end of the third with the score all tied at 13 apiece. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Stadium in the Meadowlands all tied at 13 apiece. First and 10 for the Jets at the 34 of Green Bay. Tops up in the air for maybe a yard. Will bring up a 2nd and 9.
Chicago moving out in front of the Detroit Lions there. Harbaugh just threw a touchdown pass. Look at this, 2 high-powered offenses down there in RFK Stadium. Not surprising to me, though. We mentioned earlier 2 very good defensive squads there.
And Ernest Biner touchdown run, the difference there.
The Niners making that 97-yarder from Young to Taylor hold up.
And a missed tackle by Tim McKyer. Boy, he won't want to live that one down.
Also in that game, for your information, Hofer for the San Francisco 49ers has missed 4 field goals.
O'Brien on 2nd down. Fade pattern going for Rob Moore. Incomplete. And again, Jerry Holmes, the 33-year-old corner, ex-Jet. Step for step. What a lot of action taking place around the NFL. Let's check back in New York with Greg.
All right, James, at Soldier Field in Chicago. From 22 yards out, Jim Harbaugh for Wendell Davis. Watch the catch by Davis. 13-10 Bears. Meanwhile, 49er quarterback Steve Young is out with a strained left knee. Steve Bono quarterbacking the Niners, who lead Atlanta 7-0 in the third, James.
All right, Greg, and Randy, you know the situation well there. What does Bono in there mean?
I tell you, Bono for the Niners is big trouble for San Francisco if you're a 49er fan, because Steve Bono has got no experience in there running that offense.
Flag on the play, stopping it before. I don't know if Jeff Criswell got up and moved or not.
False start. Number 69 offense moving prior to the snap. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
And that was Jeff Criswell, 5th-year player out of Graceland.
And here's Criswell, 69. Comes back to about here, but unfortunately it's before anybody else moves.
Third and 15. Ball moved back to the 39, Randy. O'Brien throws it complete to Mathis, and Mathis back to the 30. Going to be at least 6 yards shy of the first down. And we'll bring up a 4th and 6.
Injury update from the Packers sideline. Billy Ard, who was just in there during the 3rd quarter for the Packers, dislocated left shoulder. He will not return. See the ice bag there on the big fellas. Ooh, former Giant
and the grimace.
Pat Leahy will attempt a 47-yard field goal.
So Pat Leahy will come on to attempt a 47-yard field goal. His season long is 40. That against Tampa.
This is the outside of his envelope.
And it'll be inside the envelope as he misses that one. So the Packers will take over at the 30. Game in the 3rd quarter with an injured hamstring. Chris Burkett, that 50-yard Hail Mary, scoring touchdown in the first half. The difference when the Jets took the lead. But Mike Tomczak has come on in relief of Don Mikowski and done a nice job. Randy, 3 of 5 for 23 yards and a touchdown.
Well, Green Bay's had the only real drive of this football game, which you actually could call a drive. Running the ball effectively, hitting some passes, getting the ball into the end zone. They've had a drive. The Jets have been totally incapable of doing that. They've got a little good start to a drive every time, then they stall.
First and 10 for the Packers. Ball at their own 30. 13-23 left in the game, all tied at 13. Mike Tomczak throws it complete. And Jackie Harris, the tight end, we'll see where they mark it forward progress. A 5-yard pass play will bring up a 2nd and 5. I mentioned earlier in the AFC East, the Jets at 4-4 in 2nd place behind the Buffalo Bills, and needing this stretch here to try to head toward any playoff hopes.
Exactly. We saw earlier Buffalo struggling right now with New England. And very important for the Jets here. They've got this game, a whole month of games they really should win. Unusual position for them after the last few years of going into games they should win.
Which side in motion, the pitch to Thompson. And Thompson Hit hard that time by Kyle Clifton, who slowed him up. No gain on the play. The Packers come into this game with a record of 2-6 in 4th place in the NFC Central. And it's clear they need to get some momentum going.
I tell you, in that NFC Central, you keep an eye on Minnesota. You talk about teams that have got schedules that can help them. Minnesota's a team that's got a schedule. They could really turn their season around at 4-5. They could finish strong. Don't forget about the Vikings.
The Packers with 3 victories in the last 14 games, all 3 coming over Tampa. 3rd and 5. Looking for Wilson, has him. And Wilson with the first down and loses the ball. And it looks like the Packers recovered.
Jeff Query, a wide receiver who has seen very little action this year and frankly been pretty frustrated about it, makes definitely his biggest play of 1991.
They say that Query is the quickest guy on the Packers team, and thank goodness for the quickness there.
Well, Charles Wilson owes him one. We'll take another look at it from Tom Zach, coming back and throwing this thing to a wide open Wilson, who must think about maintaining the ball. Don't get cute. He's trying to move that thing around, and McMillan, for the 2nd time today, knocks the ball loose.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 48, New York. 15 yards.
That's Brian Washington, the 3rd-year player out of Nebraska.
Washington has blitzed at least 4 times today. The ball's gone. Oh, puts that shoulder right in Tom Zach's face. You hit a quarterback anywhere near the head, they're going to throw that penalty flag.
And the ball is spotted at the 36 of New York.
You see Pete Carroll, defensive coordinator, next to Bruce Coslet there, trying to cheer his boys on from the sideline and get them fired up. Because Tom Zach has managed to come into this game and is now on his way to putting together another drive.
And another caucus.
I don't know. What airport you flying out of? I don't know. What airport you flying out of? If this game ends at the right time, I can catch my flight out of here. Who you driving there with?
Well, I tell you, the housekeeping better be a little more serious than that, but I hear you. Charles Wilson, 5 catches for 61 yards on the afternoon for the Packers.
Please reset the stadium clock to 11 minutes, 31 seconds. 11:31. It was not shut down after the last play.
It's
11:31.
It's reading 11:06 right now. So a very alert group out there.
That's right. I like that. Kind of like those timeouts that Green Bay burned early. Those extra 15 seconds can come in handy come the end of the game.
1st and 10 for the Packers at the 36 of the Jets. Flags on the play. Free play. This is Woodside. And Woodside driven out of bounds at about the 33. A pickup of about 3 on the play, but there are flags on the field.
We'll see indeed if that was a free play, James, or a wasted play if it was on Green Bay.
Free one.
Offsides. Number 97 defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards. 1st down.
And that's the ex-basketball player, Marvin Washington. Packed house here at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford. Crowd is seeing a 13-13 deadlock with 11 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Packers driving 1st and 5 at the 31 of the Jets.
And a favorite Jets team today has run into not a buzzsaw, but a fired-up Green Bay Packer team.
Thompson. And Darrell Thompson diving for the 1st down, it looks like, and he's got it. James Hasty running him out of bounds.
And 2 Jets had an opportunity to tackle Thompson in the backfield, and we're trying to arm tackle him. trying to reach out and get a hand on a jersey, grab some cloth. And Thompson was able to use his speed and evade those tackles.
Mo Lewis and Jeff Lauberman.
So the Jets have 8 penalties so far for 50 yards.
Sterling Sharp to the far side. Charles Wilson to the near side. 1st and 10 at the 24 of New York. Thompson driving hard down to the 20. A 4-yard push by Darrell Thompson, tackled again by James Hasty. 9:46 left in the game, all tied at 13 apiece.
And I don't know what Lindy and Fonnie, the head coach of the Packers, or Charlie Davis, the offensive line coach of the Packers, have told this offensive line, but the Green Bay Packers right now are getting some very good run blocking from the offensive line up front. That has been the difference here in the second half.
On 2nd and 6, Woodside spinning away, but runs into another wall of green. And a loss of 2 on the play. We'll make it 3rd and 8.
So far today, Sterling Sharp has been extremely quiet for the Green Bay Packers, and he is their big wide receiver. He is the guy, and the Jets have thus far been very effective in shutting him down.
Sterling Sharp with only 1 catch. 3rd and 9 called. And Workman is going to be well shy of the 1st down, tackled by Kyle Clifton.
Well, as they did in the first half, James, Green Bay runs a draw on 3rd and long to set up their field goal team. I mean, that is something. I mean, I really got to think, go for the 1st down. Chris Jackie appreciates it. He's got a good chance to come in here and get some more points, but good Lord.
So Chris Jackie coming on to attempt a 35-yard field goal. His long of the day of 53. And it's good. So Chris Jackie boots the Packers in front with 7:52 remaining by 3. Chris Jackie, after booting that 34-yard field goal, they now make it. About to kick off for the Packers. And Mathis will take it from his own 3. Slips a couple of tacklers and runs out of bounds just at about the 19, call it the 20. Tony Bennett running him out of bounds. Well, Randy, I understand you have a very good swing indeed, and you might be interested in this. The Amoco Centel champ.
And this has been Bruce Coslett's worst nightmare he described to us Friday, as my team coming off a bye week and not being ready to play, making critical mental errors.
Starting from their own 17, play action. O'Brien complete to Mathis. And Mathis is dropped at the 22. Tight game here, and that seems to be what the Jets have been in all season long.
And those are 3 impressive football teams right there. They really should have won those first 2, Buffalo and Chicago. Houston, though they led 10-0 early, they scored late in the 4th quarter to make that one close.
They scored pretty late, huh?
It might have been late. Way late.
2nd and 3. Ball at the 24. 7 minutes left in the game. Jets trailing by 3. And Heckler running hard. Looks to be a little shy of the 1st down marker.
We've said this game has really gone into a defensive struggle, not only from the Jets standpoint, but also from the Green Bay Packers. Look at that. Yards allowed rushing. We mentioned the Packers had the lowest per rush average. The Jets have got them beat as a team, giving up little less than 78 yards a game. Today, both offenses have managed to get up over the opposing defense's average. For the Green Bay Packers, 84 yards is a heck of a job. They have not had a game over 100 yards as a team yet.
3rd and 1 for the Jets, who are 1 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. On the ground, And a first down, a big one. Excellent hard run by Brad Baxter. Finally tackled by Brian Noble.
Well, we're seeing another Jet possession begin positively. They get good blocking here, and it's good running. Hard running by Baxter. He's a very aggressive, impressive back, if you haven't seen him that often, who really likes to get those shoulder pads down there and hit defensive backs. The Jets have started a possession impressively. Can they maintain it and finish this drive off?
First and 10 from the 35. O'Brien. Incomplete, intended receiver Chris Dressel with 5:34 left in the game. Packers on top 16-13. And Randy, here's where that timeout may come into play. Packers with only one timeout remaining. Jets with 3.
Later on down the line, that's really going to be a factor if the Packers should indeed get behind. But, you know, people complain about plays not getting called, penalties that should be called. Look at Butler's holding Toone's hand. Not only is that a penalty, that's just not right. You shouldn't do that.
Noble, sack. Third sack of the afternoon for the Packers.
And the second sack for Brian Noble.
And the Packers now with 27 quarterback sacks. Randy, that's what they did all of last season.
And one thing that Brian Noble and this defense are able to do is free up people. Early in the year, it was Bryce Pop. Here today, it's Brian Noble. Rushing as a defensive end, somebody always seems to come free in this Hank Bullough defense. And there's Brian Noble on the sideline with Hank Bullough.
Third and 20 from the 25. Toone in motion. Complete to Moore. Moore still on his feet. And Moore run out of bounds across the 30. But he's going to be a good distance from the first down. So the Packers defense holds.
Well, we mentioned they started another possession off positively, looking good, but they could not maintain the momentum. And that's got to be something driving Bruce Coslett absolutely nuts right now.
Louis Aguiar on to punt for the Jets. Vi Sikahema, who's playing this game, incidentally, with a third-degree shoulder separation, back to receive for the Packers. It takes a Jets roll. Back at the 12. We saw the official, or what looked to be a beanbag thrown on the field by the official, but I think it'll stay at the 12.
Maynard was the first player ever to gain over 10,000 yards receiving, and Namath delivered on his boast in Super Bowl III. As individuals, their skills carried them to the Hall of Fame. Together as teammates, they helped bring credibility to the American Football League and made the Jets the best they can be.
Keeps on rolling. Look at that, a career high for Aguiar's 61-yard punt.
Talk about a serious bounce. So the Packers open up at their own 12 with 4:43 left in the game. Tomczak to Thompson, and Thompson runs into the back of his own man. What's happening with the 49ers? Greg Gumbel knows.
Well, James, at Atlanta, Billy Joe Tolliver on for Chris Miller at quarterback. 3-yard touchdown pass for Andre Rison. The extra point tied it at 7, and the feelings between these two teams being what they are, exchange pleasantries afterwards. They're in the fourth quarter, JB.
All right, Greg, and talk about a lot of talking before that game and during the game. Even Andre Rison said that he was a better receiver than Jerry Rice.
Yeah, well, talk's cheap unless you back it up. I've never been one to really think much of that. And while we were away here, the Jets have called a timeout, which drops them down to 2.
Green Bay with 1 timeout remaining. The Jets with 2. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. Do yourself a favor. Before you go shopping again, watch 60 Minutes. They'll tell you something the food companies would just as soon keep.
And this is a situation where Green Bay is really hurt by not having an effective running game. With 4.5 minutes left, you have to be able to run this clock down.
2nd and 13. Incomplete, a low pass from Tomczak. Intended receiver Sterling Sharp. We'll bring up a 3rd and 13 with 4:31 left in the game, and the Packers on top by a field goal. Mike Tomczak came on in relief of the injured Don Mikowski, who left in the 3rd quarter with an injured hamstring. And the Packers holding to a 3-point lead.
You see Washington leaving the field a little gimpy. This is the Jets' opportunity on defense for a huge play.
Workman. Nowhere near the first down yardage.
A play like that, you're running a draw backed up like that is not always bad. What that isn't calling a play to win a game. That's calling a draw to not lose, to not give a defense an opportunity to really hurt you. And the Jets take their 2nd timeout. They both teams now are down to the last timeout.
Cincinnati 23, Cleveland 20. Chicago 13, Detroit 10.
So there's 4:21 left in the game. And this is the first of 2 coming up next here on CBS Sports. Loggeman, an excellent day defensively for him.
And you've got to think, with Mathis having as good a day as he is returning kicks, Green Bay is in the hold-up mode to try to set something up to give their offense even better field position.
Paul McJulian on to punt. And Mathis pushed back to his own 40. And Mathis gets it back to midfield. A 47-yard punt by McJulian, an 11-yard return by Terrence Mathis. So the Jets will take over at midfield with 4:09 remaining and trailing by 3.
Well, if the Jets and Bruce Coslett want to be considered playoff contenders, want to take that next step up here in the NFL, this is put up or shut up time for the New York Jets.
Complete to Toon, and Toon about 1 yard shy of the first down marker. Johnny Holland on the tackle.
And Al Toon just finds himself a hole in the zone, settles down, and just as he was coming out of that break, O'Brien found him. That ball was in the air as he was turning.
Toon, 6 catches for 95 yards. 2nd and 2. Thomas. First down. Inside the 35, down to about the 32. Johnny Holland again on the tackle.
Another positive start to a possession for the New York Jets. Can they maintain it? They're about 10 yards away from an effective field goal distance for Pat Leahy.
And Blair Thomas still down on the field after that run. Blair Thomas certainly has been running hard today. 15 carries for 50 yards. While they tend to Blair Thomas here, let's get back to New York and let Greg tend to business there.
All right, James, at Soldier Field, Jim Harbaugh scrambling. And then for the 2nd time today, hooks up with Wendell Davis, this time an 8-yard touchdown pass. And the Bears have just about put this one away. It's a 20-10 lead with 3:50 to play in the 4th, JB.
All right, Greg, and back here, Blair Thomas left under his own power. 3:10 left in the game. 1st and 10 for the Jets at the 32. Hector. Tackled by Tony Bennett. A 4-yard run by Johnny Hector. Johnny Hector looked good in practice this week, according to Coach Coslett. Was expected to see limited action today, and he's gotten it. 2:42 remaining in the game.
It's not the time for Bruce Coslett and the Jets to get too conservative here. They're getting within field goal range. Not quite within field goal range. Another 5 yards to do that, but they can't tighten up and get conservative.
2nd and 6. Play action. O'Brien complete to Hector. Hector, first down. Tony Bennett runs him out of bounds.
And there's no doubt this is O'Brien's Jet offense. These guys love this guy. They know O'Brien spent a lot of years here in New York really getting beat up, much like we've seen Mikowski get it today. And his offensive linemen consider him the 6th member of their offensive line.
1st and 10 from the 20. 2:18 left in the game. Near the first down marker, Johnny Hector tackled by Chuck Cecil as we wind down to the 2-minute mark.
A great job downfield by Al Toon of blocking. This sets up perfectly. Every time you see a defender that looks like he's got a chance to make a tackle, he's blocked. He's put on the ground. White puts down Murphy. Look at, oh, that's Moore downfield doing that blocking. Fine job by Moore. The Jets have maintained the momentum for the better part of the drive for the first time today.
Caesar's defense back up at the 10. A 1st and goal for the Jets. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. 2 minutes left in the game. Jets trailing by 3.
The Jets have maintained the momentum, like I said, but can they finish it off?
And Baxter ahead for 1 yard. Will bring up a 2nd and goal.
At this point, the Jets are guaranteed a tie. That's assuming Leahy can kick a field goal here if it happens. So you wouldn't expect them to take too many chances. Not a time for a reverse or a halfback option pass or anything like that. But as effectively as they're running the ball, we might look for here as a play action pass.
O'Brien going for Toon, complete. And Toon gets it down to the 5. Leroy Butler on the coverage. You see the clock ticking away. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 5.
And O'Brien takes a conservative way out. Nice 3 quick steps. Looking for his receiver, Toon, to make that quick break. Working on Leroy Butler.
7 catches for 100 yards on the day for Al Toon as Green Bay burns off its last time out of the game with 1:09 remaining. Today's game was produced by Bob Monsbach and directed by Kathy Barretto. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. The senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin, and the executive producer is Ted Shaker. So Green Bay with no timeouts remaining. The Jets have won. Jets 3rd and goal, ball at the 5 with 1:09 remaining. New York trailing by 3.
And if Bruce Coslett and the Jets decide to throw here, it's got to be a very high percentage pass. If you don't have anything, throw it away.
O'Brien with time, incomplete. Intended receiver was Al Toon, and Leroy Butler was right there with him. So that brings up a 4th and goal as Pat Leahy comes on to try and tie the game up.
And all the Jet fans here have got to be holding their breath because they remember that short little chip shot Pat Leahy missed in the Monday night game against Chicago.
This one a 22-yard attempt. Bad snap. But Aguiar sets it up and Leahy converts. So we're all tied at 16 apiece. Randy, the snaps have been bad all day long.
New snappers. Sweeney on the field goals and extra point. Fraze on the punts. Rolls another one back here. You need a knuckleball catcher's glove for most of the snaps these guys are putting out there today. Good concentration by Leahy and a great job of handling the ball by Aguiar. Remember, Packers, no timeouts now. Let's think back to those 2 they had to burn off in the third quarter. I mean, if you've got a minute left and you've got your 2 timeouts in your pocket, I think it's a plus. With a minute to go here, with this Packer offense being as ineffective as it has been of late, I think you're looking at some trouble.
Bruce Kozlik trying to exhort his troops and talking with Tom White, the referee. Live here at Giant Stadium, the crowd certainly has gotten their money's worth. A tie ball game between the Packers and the Jets with exactly 1 minute left. Green Bay, no timeouts. Jets with 1 as Aguiar gets set to kick it off. Second game of our doubleheader coming up next. Some of you will see New Orleans at the LA Rams. Others will see Phoenix at Dallas, all except those of you here in the New York area. Aguiar. And Workman will take it from the 5. Vince Workman returns it up to the 30.
Well, remember earlier in the game, Jackie did hit a 53-yard field goal for the Green Bay Packers. That is the outside of his distance, so you're looking for the Packers to have to get down to the Jet 35-yard line from where they are on the 30.
And now talk about executing the 2-minute offense, if you will, by Mike Tomczak. He has exactly 54 seconds remaining.
And no timeouts to go 35 yards to set that field goal up.
Dumps it off to Workman. And Workman picks up only 3 as the clock continues to wind down. 40 seconds left in the game. Workman didn't even look like he was looking for the out-of-bounds line. Flag on the play. On a top for Workman, and it's incomplete. But there are penalty flags. Kyle Clifton was providing the coverage that time.
And that flag was right in that area of like an illegal block up into the face again. Maybe somebody was doing a little something underneath the face mask to one of the Jet defenders.
Illegal use of the hands to the head. Number 65 offense. 10 yards. Still second down.
Ron Hallstrom victimized again.
And while we've got a heck of a finish here in the Meadowlands down at RFK Stadium, Lorenzo White just scored on a 1-yard touchdown run to tie that Houston-Washington game up at 13 apiece with a little over a minute left in the game.
Second and 17 with 18 seconds remaining.
Here again, you play not to lose the game. You don't do anything foolish. You take the overtime period.
And that's exactly what Green Bay is hoping for. So that's the end of regulation here at Giant Stadium. And the game ends at 16 apiece. So now we'll move into an overtime period of 5 minutes. Both teams will receive 1 timeout apiece. And there will be a coin flip to determine who gets the ball. Randy, there we are.
I like it. Don't have to explain that one.
And I said 1 timeout per team. There 2.
So theoretically, you could play another quarter here in overtime. But rarely in the regular season do you see these things go the distance with teams ending up in a tie. Especially when you have 2 teams, one coming into the game, Green Bay, that has been making some mistakes, and one in the New York Jets, who today have made quite a few critical errors. I look for something to happen pretty quickly.
Green Bay has won the toss. Will receive.
James, another game going down to the wire. I mentioned a little while ago about that touchdown run by Lorenzo White for the Oilers. They kick off to the Washington Redskins. Brian Mitchell fumbles the ball. The Oilers have the ball back on the 23-yard line of the Washington Redskins.
Ooh.
With less than a minute to play.
And Brian Mitchell certainly has been one superb player for the Skins up until this point. Louis Aguiar will be kicking off. Vince Workman back along with Darrell Thompson for the Packers. It'll be Thompson from his own 8. And Thompson with an excellent return up to about the 38-yard line. And Louis Aguiar again on the tackle. And don't forget, coming up next, the Saints and the Rams, the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Don Mikowski left the game in the 3rd quarter of play with an injured hamstring. Mike Tomczak has come on and done a very nice job indeed.
Overtime periods turned into generally a war of field position. Advantage now goes to the Packers with that fine return.
Complete to Sharp. And Sharp. With only his 2nd reception of the afternoon.
We talk about the tension of an overtime period. Tension doesn't seem to bother this guy here. He's still laughing and smiling and having a great time.
And 2. And Woodside with an excellent run for the 1st down. All at about the 47. Right now, let's head back to New York and Greg.
Well, JB, the 49ers and the Falcons. Sanjay Beach fumbles with about 4 minutes to play in regulation time. Tracy Johnson recovered for Atlanta. Norm Johnson's 29-yard field goal has Atlanta up 10-7, a minute 47 to play in the 4th quarter, JB.
All right, Greg, and Randy, you shook your head and said, hey, it seems like it may be Atlanta.
Well, listen to this. With 1 second left at RFK, Ian Howfield is kicking a 33-yard field goal. Wide left. Still tied at 13 at RFK.
Tied at 16 here on 1st and 10 for Tomczak. And Tomczak throws it complete to Woodside. And Woodside inside the 25. Run out of bounds by Kyle Clifton. A 22-yard pass play from Tomczak to Keith Woodside.
And that puts the Packers well within Chris Jackie's field goal range. Watch the agility and the extra effort of Tomczak right there. He gets tripped up, will not go down, just does spot Woodside. A dangerous off-balance pass that works out perfectly for Mike Tomczak and the Green Bay Packers. Now you're setting up field position for your kicker. Now you are getting field position for your kicker.
Tomczak, 8 of 11 for 73 yards. First and 10 at the 25 of the Jets. On the ground, Woodside upended and smashed by Mo Lewis. A loss of 1 on the play.
Take a look at some of these scores as the Packers set up a Jackie field goal. 1 second left, so you got to figure Houston and Washington will join us in overtime, and it has now gone into overtime. With Steve Bono leading the 49ers, you got to think Atlanta's got to win there. And Buffalo struggles with New England. Sam White, a minute and 42 seconds away from his first win at Cincinnati in '91.
Second and 11. Ball at the 26. Woodside. And Woodside leaping his way for about 4.
And with that run there, that puts Chris Jackie, when they kick this field goal, inside of a 40-yard effort.
Ball is spotted at the 23.
Mike Tomczak has been an incredible spark for the Green Bay Packers here in the second half. Don Mikowski goes down with a hamstring pull. Tomczak comes in, and it's been a real spark for this team. They've run the ball effectively, and he's thrown the ball very well, except for 1 interception.
And Woodside, that time smacked in the backfield. A loss on the play. And the Jets saw it coming.
And that puts Jackie back outside of 40-yard range. It'll be about a 41-yard field goal.
Well, he's kicked a 34-yarder, a 41-yarder, and a 53-yarder. That 53-yarder came in the first quarter of play.
This will be a 42-yarder.
No good.
If you're Bruce Coslett and the Jets, there's a gun aimed right at your head. Right now, Chris Jackie, 42 yards, pulls the trigger, and you dodge a big bullet, and you're still alive. Big emotional swing here from the Packers to the Jets.
10:45 left in overtime. Jets take over on their own 24. Play action. Complete to Dressel, and Dressel stopped quickly by Scott Stevens.
We'll take another look at this with the snap and the hold. This thing is just like a fade in a golf shot. It starts out inside the uprights and just moves out to the right. And Jackie knows right now he's not going to be good. What does Bruce Coslett think? Yeah, he likes it.
A loss of 2 on that last play. Second and 12. Ball at the 22. And it's complete to Baxter. A flag on a play as Baxter gets up near the first down marker. Chuck Cecil on the stop.
Had to be either some pushing off or illegal contact for that flag that deep in the defensive backfield.
Against the Packers. That will be an automatic first.
Holding, number 90, 5 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
While they march it off, let's march back across the Hudson to Greg.
Well, JB, at Atlanta, Steve Bono from 30 yards out. John Taylor beats Deion Sanders. And with just 53 seconds to play, the 49ers lead Atlanta 14-10, James.
Back here, it's 1st and 10 for the Jets. O'Brien with time completes it to Baxter. First down. Up to the 46. Brad Baxter. Mark Murphy on the tackle. 19 yards on the play.
Very sloppy effort of tackling there by the Green Bay Packers. Remember, the Jets have to get in about another 25 yards to get within Leahy's field goal range. If they can get him inside of 40, it's a possibility. Outside of 40 yards for Pat Leahy, it's an adventure.
9-10 left in overtime. 1st and 10 from the 46. Complete to Toon. And Toon run out of bounds by Mark Murphy, 1 yard shy of the first down marker. We'll bring up a 2nd and 1.
And Bruce Kozlitz's Jets here are mixing the plays up very well, keeping the Green Bay Packers off balance. And I mentioned about the emotional turn. You could see air go out of the Green Bay Packers team when that Chris Jackie field goal was wide right, and the inflation was going to the other side to the New York Jets.
Let's see where they mark it. Johnny Holland on the tackle.
It's going to be pretty close. They'll probably have to measure that, I would think. We're going to call that 3rd and very short.
A.B. Brown and Brad Baxter, the backs coming on for the Jets. 3rd and inches. 7:56 left in overtime. And Baxter.
He didn't get it.
Sure.
No, he didn't get it. Great surge by that Packer defense.
And that's their strength, the Packer defense.
Now here's a decision for you. 4th and about a foot on your opponent's 44-yard line. Bruce Kozlitz doing the smart thing. He's sending in his punt team. You don't give the ball up to an opponent's offense that's moving the ball well against your defense in this situation.
And the Jets, only 2 of 13 on 3rd down conversions.
You saw that motion with the hand Kozlitz was making, that motion away. That's what he was talking about. He's talking about that surge. There was no surge at the offensive line for the Jets. The Green Bay Packers just stuffed them.
And there's a penalty flag. Play clock looks to have expired.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down prior to the snap, the activity.
As soon as this game is completed, there will be a 2nd game coming your way, except those of you here in New York. Aguiar on to punt by Sikahema in pain. Back at his own 10 for the Packers. And what a highlight. Fumble. Bobby Houston of the Jets. To the 4. Well, now that looks like, Randy, if in fact they rule this one correctly, a muff, and they will bring it back to the point of recovery.
That's right. A muff cannot be advanced. They've got that ball marked on the 23-yard line. You've got a guy in Sikahema suffered a 3rd-degree shoulder separation last week, making a miraculous recovery. But he never has a chance of catching that one as the ball fades away from him and he drops it, and Houston advances the muff.
He's covered by the kickers. It's the kicking team's ball right here. New York's ball. First down.
The key thing on that play, 5-second hang time by Aguiar. Now that is superb.
Well, that's going to work out good for Aguiar, but actually it was about a 27-yard punt. As high as it wasn't very far, but the height made it very difficult for second handler to judge it.
First and 10 from the 23. Inside the 20 to the 19. 4 yards picked up on a play will bring up a 2nd and 6 with 6:37 left in overtime.
And when the kicker is accurate as Pat Leahy is inside of this kind of distance, look for Bruce Coslett and the Jets just to pound 2 more runs, get that ball in the middle of the field, and let Pat Leahy kick a winner.
On the ground, as expected.
And a good decision here by Bruce Coslett. He is going to kick this thing
On third down,
just in case. You know, people usually say, why do you do this? Well, you do this in case there's a bad snap, you recover the ball, it's still your football. Common misconception here is people say, well, you kick on third down in case it's not good, then you get to do it again. No.
So Leahy will be attempting about a 37-yarder. For the game. Jets win it.
It's been that kind of year for Lindy and Fonnie and the Green Bay Packers. Valiant effort today, but they made the mistake at the wrong time and gave a 40-year-old veteran, Pat Leahy, a chance. Never a doubt. Never a doubt. That thing, though, hooking off to the left as it seems in that camera shot, that thing split right through the middle when it got to the uprights. And as soon as he hits it, Pat Leahy knows it. Have you ever had one of those years? Lindy's having one of those years. Bruce Coslett's got to be happy right here. His team escaped with a very subpar performance and were able to get away with a win.
So the Jets improved to 5-4 in the AFC East, while the Packers dropped to 2-7. So for Randy Cross, I'm James Brown saying so long from Giant Stadium, where the final score is New York 19, Green Bay 16. Stay tuned for doubleheader Game 2, where you'll see either the Saints and the Rams or the Cardinals and Cowboys. Those of you except here in the